How are you, brother?
Alive, alive. So much happening here.
I,
So much.
when you say so much, what do you mean?
I would say the alignment of the mental, the emotional, the physical, the energetic levels and layers, all coming to harmony, coming to alignment, becoming more intimate,
Hmm.
um, realizing the unity between all these levels and layers, and therefore seeing a complete different spectrum of reality of yourself and the God, man, and flesh, your self-sufficiency, your freedom, your liberation, your birthright, who the fuck you are, what are you doing here, what are your gifts, your abilities, your capacity. All this happens.
Beautiful.
This is what I mean, what's happening, and this in accelerated form, for all of us, wherever you are.
Hmm.
It's powerful.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yes,
On all levels.
yes.
You said the alignment of who we really are. Yeah, I love that. I love
And
that.
like it was interesting. I have thought about you the last week, especially. I always thought about you, and then you hit me up with a message, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Also, like to collaborate again with you. And Jerome, you're doing such a great work. Really, you do so much for all of this. Like your interviews, your insights, your experiences, everything you share. Like it's really powerful. You create a ripple effect, and I just wanted to tell you, I really appreciate what you're doing,
Uh,
and thank you, man.
hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for that feedback. I received that. I received that. Thank you. Yeah, and I love what you said at the beginning, Tim. When I asked you, like, how were you? I said, how are you, brother? You said, alive, alive. Like, I usually don't hear that answer often. Usually, when I ask somebody how they're doing or how they're feeling, they might say, oh, I'm fine. Oh, things are great. Oh, I'm doing well. But you said alive, alive.
Yes.
Why do you feel like you choose that word? And it came so natural for you. It wasn't like you had to find that answer. It was already there. So why do you feel like that was your answer?
Because I have contemplated and reflected on that question, because this is the one we most often hear from in every social dynamic. How are you? What are you doing? And so on. And then I was thinking about it. How are you? And when someone's saying I'm doing good, then this is just a duality, good and bad. It doesn't say anything. And then a friend of mine said to me, I am. And then he just looked straight into my eyes. I am. And that was very powerful. And that but I am can also be kind of not allowing the others to meet you at the same space. And then I thought for myself, how do I actually feel? I am alive. Yeah, I am here, man. Like, like I often see when I often say when people talk to me and say, "How are you?" I say, "You know how I am. Just look at me. Look at my eyes. Try to feel me. Try to feel how I am. And then, if you still then don't know, then you can ask me."
Mhm.
You know?
Oh, okay. So you challenge people. You let people sink into their own intuition, like feel how I am before you ask me how I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a really interesting, actually. If you try that out, people actually feeling into themselves, and they are like, oh, I know how you feel actually. They know how we feel. But
Hmm.
it's just
Well,
like this perpetuated response, yeah, from society, what we have learned.
okay. So do you feel like it's are desensitized? Like, do you feel like it's because we're not attuned to ourselves that we always ask the question of someone else?
Yes,
Okay.
not truly being present with our innate abilities to sense the other one's energy.
Hmm.
But if I come to you, Jerome, and I see you, I feel you, I know how you are, you know. But it can be a bonus in saying, my friend, how do you feel today? It could be a bonus, you know, but
Yeah.
ultimately, if we truly feel into the moment and feel into the other one's being, we know. And
Right.
that's also, if we let that sink, all our psychic abilities, our telepathic abilities, our fine sensing abilities are all coming online again. They were only dormant, and now they are just like becoming more visible again. And then if we see the pranic lifestyle, the self-sufficient information of no sleep, no aging, no food, a needless being, the being of freedom, as Rudolf Steiner always calls it, the being of freedom. I always love that term. And the being of freedom is the integrated being on all levels, and then everything is just unlocking automatically, everything. And then you can choose out of excitement, out of an astral joy, to go into something. Whatever you want to experience, you can tune into that, but it will be dissolved instantly. For example, the book, The Masters of the Far East, I think, I don't know if it's from Baldwin or something, but they were eating and dissolving it into their bodies, and they were not shitting. They were just instantly dissolving it in their bodies, but they were eating it for the pleasure of the others. Because the
Right.
scientists in 1900s, in the beginning of the 1900s, they were discovering all these ancient masters, and they were like collecting all these incredible abilities of them and researching them, and all, you know, like, and then these masters, for the pleasure of the scientists, they were trying to connect with them via food, but they were dissolving it instantly. They could
Yeah.
create tens of heat only with their fingers in their hands,
Wow.
and then they had tens of heat in the middle of the Himalaya where there was nothing.
Yeah.
And that's why I know also, like, these buildings. Right now I am in this apartment here, but ultimately I know that we don't even have to have any external heat system, because we can generate heat and make heat tents for us wherever we are. We can do everything ultimately we wanted. It's just all coming now to the surface. I talked today about someone with someone about the passport. The passport is the externalization of our own authority to fly and to travel. So our own authority to fly, to travel independently in our own sovereign authority. That moment when we allow ourselves to do that and our organs to activate this ability again, that moment the passport will be not needed and will dissolve out of our reality. The same with government, the same with cash, the same with all kinds of things. Even seeking intimacy in others will be dissolved in the intimacy of ourselves, but then we can choose to elevate and transcend together with someone else.
It'll be a choice.
It will
Okay.
be a choice.
Wow. Wow. Because right now you feel like it's not really a choice for most people. For the majority, you're saying it's not even an option.
It is seeking for example, if you seek intimacy with another, if you are yearning for the intimacy, it's the yearning of the intimacy of yourself. So where can't you give yourself the intimacy of yourself? Where don't you allow yourself to be truly intimate with yourself? And then many things are dissolving automatically, the need. But then if you see and meet and encounter someone with a heart resonance and truly being aligned to yours, to your center, to your being, and then hey, let's walk our path together for a while and let's see where it goes. And then a king and a queen comes together and elevate like a spiral up boom, and like this walking that empire, like an embodied empire of the divine and female embodiment. And that is very powerful. It accelerates then even more, you know?
Super, super powerful. And I love what you're
Yeah.
talking about. You know, Tim, when you're talking about things like, I believe the author, he might be called Baird Spalding or something. Baird
Yes,
Spalding,
yes, this
maybe.
is the one.
Oh,
This is the one.
okay. So that book, you know, that series, The Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, I mean, that was mind-blowing. You know, when I first got my hands on that and I read about, you know, these people who develop their I am presence, like your friend, when you asked your friend, how are you doing? And they just looked at you straight in your eyes and said, I am, you know? The whole book, the teachings, you know, of the masters, that's what it was talking about, the I am presence, the I am, you know, the I am. And these beings that were able to, you know, you think about somebody who's saying, yo, okay, I'll meet you over there, right? And you're walking over there, you're traveling over there, and they don't have any transportation, right? They just have that high vibration. That is their transportation. They meet you over there, you get to the village, they're already in the village. And you're like, wait a minute, we came to the village. You were in the other village. How are you in this village? And he's like, I am. You know, the I am presence, right? There's no question. So, what did you really extract from that book when you got your hands on that knowledge? What did it really? How did it really impact?
Mm.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps all over the place here, man. Like everywhere. My whole head is shivering because, you know, ultimately, what it showed me, these people, these masters, they
Mm-hmm.
just showed me what the fuck, like, is our birthright. Like, that we can do everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything, and we don't have to be afraid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to truly, this is like knowing thyself. Know thyself. This is the ultimate mastery. This is the ultimate artwork. This is the treasure of your life.
Yeah.
And you know what it showed me? This one guy in the book was, for example, walking through fire. He
Mm-hmm.
took the one scientist, taking him on guard, like taking him under his shoulder and cloaking him inside, you know, his under his scarf or whatever. And then they walked through fire, like many hundreds of meters, because there
Right.
was a whole forest burning and they were trapped. And he said,
Right.
don't worry, come here under my clothing, you will be fine.
Yeah.
And they walked to the fire. And this is just showing me once again, we are the elements. We are the elements of sky,
Mm-hmm.
fire, water, earth, ether, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how much do you allow yourself to see your relationship with your own inner elements, and how to work with your own inner elements.
Right.
How distant are you from water? How distant are you from fire? How distant are you from like earth,
Mm-hmm.
metal, ether, you know?
Yeah. So I love these talks lately because you're in your element, you know? You're not only just in your element as an authentic being, you know, you're a unique version of yourself, and just that quantum being, you know, playing this quantum game, you know, like a quantum player. But you're also in your element when you're in nature and you're walking. You know, I see the leaves moving out, I see the wind, and I see like all the elements around you when you're speaking to different people and when you're teaching and reaching all these people, you're in these elements. So what have you learned lately when it comes to being in Thailand, when it comes to being in these places, in these spaces, like of tuning into your specific elements? What is it teaching you these days?
Well, that's a really good question. Right now, I'm in Ko Pha Ngan, and Ko Pha Ngan is a very powerful island. It's based
Okay.
on a quartz crystal, and there are also amethyst. I think tourmaline, if I'm not mistaken. They have digged and grabbed out amethyst just in the garden, like in the 90s and 2000s, gave them to Reiki students and stuff. They were all over the place, like,
Mm,
and this is like a micro representation of what is possible when all nations and all people from all over the world come together and live in harmony and live with present awareness. It's so powerful. Like here, one day is like 7 fucking days. It's like one day dry fasting is 3 day water fasting. One day Ko Pha Ngan is like 7-day normal life.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
So the pace
And
is really different.
it's different and it's timeless because
Okay.
it's different because it's timeless here. And it's very incredible what I have found out here about the island. It's like its own being. So the island has its own entity. If you fuck around with the island, it kicks you out. It will give you accidents when you're not ripe enough to focus your attention on healing and your love expansion.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Even some people getting headaches,
Okay.
they can't stand the vibration, they get out. After 1 week, they get out. People are here having massive motor scooter accidents. They call it the Thailand tattoo. They have dengue fever, all kinds of activations from bees, from spiders. Dude, like I've seen now like a very interesting many incidents in different kind of people, and I'm hearing their story, and I directly know like why they got this spider activation, why they got the motor scooter accident now, why they have been greedy, why they are distracted, why they pay attention to distraction, why they use the energy of the island in themselves, and paying attention to distraction, they will get accelerated distraction.
So it's
Everything
the
you pay
energy.
attention towards will be
So it's the
accelerated.
energy of the whole island has this energy. You're saying it's the whole island. Okay. Okay. So and they call it the Thailand tattoo, you said? The Thailand tattoo?
Yeah, the Thailand tattoo, and it looks horrible.
Okay. But this hasn't happened to you. This hasn't been your experience.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you feel
yeah. Hmm.
and you feel like when you're hearing all these stories from the other people and you're kind of listening to their stories, why do you feel like you haven't been affected or haven't had that specific interaction with the island? Why do you feel like it hasn't touched you with the tattoo in that way?
Um, it's a good question. I don't say it could never happen, right? But I'm saying you have to be careful what kind of relationship you have here with yourself
Right.
and the island, because the island has a certain mineral composition. Every island, every territory, wherever you are, has a certain mineral composition in the earth. The mineral composition conducts electricity in different ways. That kickstarts certain processes in your body, in your DNA.
Okay. Okay. So would you say that somebody should, not just be careful on Ko Pha Ngan Island, but that they should be careful with the energy and respect the energy of the earth itself, like the earth itself?
Yes, yes, exactly. Not only Ko Pha Ngan, also all territories, all the earth, everywhere you are. And I would say this is a special place. You have many beautiful and special places, like for example Goa, India. You have Costa Rica. There are these
Right.
ley lines, right? The ley lines. The ley lines are the arteries of the world. Like if you have an artery, like we are the earth. Our body is the earth, and the earth is the external outwarded body of ourselves, the micro and the macro, right? And the earth has also arteries, and these are the ley lines. And here is energy flowing, like you know yourself, right? Because you do these practices. And it's just energy flowing, the ley lines and the mineral compositions. Like the quartz crystal of Ko Pha Ngan is the heart,
Mm.
and everything here is about the heart.
Mm.
In Bali, for example, in Bali, Indonesia, it's like a masculine quality energy. Here's feminine.
Okay.
Bali is masculine. So wherever you go, is different energies, and that's why we are drawn to certain territories or terrains in our life in different
Mm.
phases,
Mm.
because then we are kick-starting a process or harmonizing or activating a process in our mineral composition.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why some people are drawn to Japan or Brazil or South America, and some are totally not drawn to it, you know?
Right.
The
Right.
same with food, the same with food, actually.
Mm.
Because the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the mineral like all these kingdoms have also like different, like they refer or they have a different connection to your inner kingdoms as well. We
Mm-hmm.
have all the kingdoms in ourselves, right?
Right.
And
Right.
therefore sometimes people have something coming up and they are soothing their kingdom with the same kingdom outside. So there's
Mm-hmm.
ultimately no linear hierarchy of food.
Okay. Okay.
Veganism is not better than carnivorism. Fruitarianism is not ultimately better than any, like there's no hierarchy. I know it's lighter and it's like digested much easier, but sometimes, like mistletoe also talks about this. She's a lot of depth about these levels and layers. And first, I didn't understand that, but the more the days are passing, the more I understand mistletoe what she's saying,
Mm.
and she's talking with profound depth about these levels and layers, and why you can't put these food things into any box, and why every individual is very different in their journey to free themselves.
Mm. Yeah. I saw your recent reel. You were keeping it real on your recent reel. You keep it real on all your reels, but there was one you were talking about, stepping outside of the box and stepping outside of the prism, stepping outside of the ism and just taking,
Yeah,
taking all of the labels off of the table so we can be more willing and able. So it sounds like you've been
exactly.
it sounds like you've been doing that. Yeah.
Yes. Like, how can you listen to your body when you don't allow yourself the full spectrum of life, a tantric allowance of the experiences your body tells you and navigates you towards?
Mm-hmm.
But then you say, with your little imprisoned box, I'm not saying you, I mean the people in general, the collective, what we were indoctrinated with. Like, I also had the same. I had the same face. Like, no, this is bad. This is not good. This will be not like this and this and this. Like a boxing in life into these categorisms,
Mm.
and it just doesn't work. And I went through all these phases, a lot of, let's say, a lot of phases, from my childhood to now my childhood. Um, and I just realized after going through all of these experiences that actually it's much easier when I allow myself to not put any ism, not any categorism, not any definition, any judgment about what is right, what is wrong, because then I can listen truly. But then actually the paradox is so beautiful, because when you allow yourself everything, you are letting go of everything. This is the best. That's the
Yeah.
best. So it's
Yes.
not about going back and indulging in everything. No, it's not about that. It's just like, whew, you you specialize in all these categories, and then you open it all up again. You can allow yourself to revisit maybe a few times, maybe a little bit here, maybe a little bit there. Hey, is there something, some memories? Is there some astral joy experience I still want to have here in this grand evolutionary reversal process, remembrance process? And it ultimately shows you your compassion and also your humbleness and your appreciation of these phases. And as Hilton said, you are eating your way back to freedom.
Mm.
If you restrict that joy, in eating your way back to freedom, you are restricting yourself from the joy, and you are absent of that self-love and that nourishment that you give by having that experience. And then
Wow.
you see that certain breatharians become very malnourished, or they're looking like starving from joy. They're not starving from food, they are starving from joy and from love.
Wow.
Because they are going with the will power and the force of the mental construct that they need to do this in order to be free, but they have forgotten to take their heart in the fullness, in the
Mm.
joy, like into the experience.
Mm.
And then they are maybe, for example, then they are not eating, they're not drinking, they're not sleeping, or maybe just a few times, but they are looking deprived of their own joy because they
Woo.
never allowed themselves. Yes, so they go to the extreme. First they're eating everything, then they go to the complete other way, but
Mhm.
they are not neutralizing food. Mirit Omerse, maybe you know her from the Pranic Festival, the shaman, and she has also an amazing book, Mirit Omerse, and she was like spending a lot of time with indigenous people for a lot, like 15, 20 years. She
Mhm.
learned all these shamanic traditions and stuff, and she is a breatharian. She also was visiting the Pranic festival in Italy, and I think in Romania as well, if I'm not mistaken. But she has said you have to neutralize the food. If there's any resistance to it, you are not giving up, you're not giving in, you're not surrendering.
Wow. Okay.
And that's why I think we all individually, visiting all these different phases, we think first it's linear, oh, this is good, and then they have all these debates and conflicts, what is right, what is wrong. But then you open the whole box again, and
Mhm.
you allow yourself to see the whole thing, and then you allow yourself everything. In that moment, you let go of it actually even more.
Yeah.
But only by actually revisiting how are you averse? Do you have resistance to any of these kingdoms inside and outside of you?
Yes. Yes. Wow. This is powerful. This is powerful, Tim. Thank you for this transmission. Like, just realizing the resistance, realizing through persistence and through our consistency in either the contrast, like dipping in, dipping out, going in and going back, going forth, going up, going down, you know, and when you're talking about these things, there's two things that I love hearing from you because they're not things that I hear very often. A lot of the things that you say, I don't hear very often, so it's always nourishing and encouraging to talk with you. One of them is the astral joy, and then another one is tantric allowance. So, for anyone who doesn't really understand, how would you describe tantric allowance?
So good question, man. So ultimately, Tantra, right? Tantra is actually like, it's like there's only very little pages and quotes about sex.
Mm.
People directly always think it's sex, but it's the sex with yourself. It is the very wisdom and the philosophy, not even the philosophy, it's the embodiment, how you marry yourself,
Mm.
like how you alchemize both parts, the female and the masculine, in yourself, and actually becoming the Shakti and the Shiva, the observer, the witness, and the dancer. And this in everything you do, how you connect, how you communicate, how you dance, how you sing, how you eat, how you not eat, how you look at the sun. For example, looking at the sun.
Mm.
Do you have do you look at the sun because of a result that then it will purify your eyes, or do you look or like, ah, when I look at the sun, then I will be more self-sufficient, and then like whatever, right? But or do you look at the sun with the intention of your witness, and truly like honoring the sun as a beautiful experience? Where is there an intention, or is there a result driven action?
Wow.
Because then the Shakti, the dancer, loses its potency. You are
Okay.
not here in the present anymore. So, and tantric allowance is ultimately allowing yourself the whole spectrum of life,
Yes.
with appreciation and an intentional being in the now. And by, like, for example, saying, oh, food is bad, this is bad, this is not good, I want to be there, then only will be life perfect. This is a resistance, and it's actually conditioning your reality that it's not enough, that you're not content, that you're not already free. And so the tantric allowance is maybe it's a good word for seeing the whole perfection, how it unfolds for you, and truly immersing yourself in that with appreciation and intention by the witness and the dancer.
Right, right. Beautifully
And the
put. And
ah
the what? And the what? What were you
and
saying?
the astral joy,
Yes.
I understood, like, I made that connection because of Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner had this beautiful book, one of my most favorites. It's A Cosmic Memory. That's the book, and he explains and goes into amazing explanations how the human being was coming to be with all these kingdoms. That's why I also talk about these kingdoms. And it gave me many keys. It unlocked certain parts. And then I understood that he said something so profound, Jerome. He said the body, the physical body, is actually the most perfectualized from all bodies. And the astral body is yet taking its time in the evolutionary grand scheme to be as perfect as the body. So there's an astral craving, an astral joy for being nourished, and the physical body is actually helping and coming one step further to it and letting itself compromise a little bit for the perfectualization of the astral body. And that's why it's so important to have the astral joy allowance. The astral joy allowance. So for example, you want some experience.
Okay.
You want to have an experience. Let's say you never tried Asian food, but there's in your soul, in your astral being, something wants to experience deeply. It doesn't have to be food. It can also be, I don't know, whatever, sexual union, whatever. And that has to be allowed, because Rudolf Steiner said, if you don't allow yourself these experiences, then your astral body is its own being, and it will cry. You will suffer so immensely like you have so like when you see all these levels and layers. He's still talking about death, but I think in that time when he talked about that, I mean, he knew about immortality, but I think he put it out there for the people to not get completely zoned out, maybe, I don't know. But he called it, when the body would die for people, then you would see the astral body and all your experiences that you didn't allow yourself. But if you would have allowed yourself, your astral body can actually grow even more into perfection, and there you accelerate your freedom.
Okay. So the astral body is growing as well for ascension to accelerate the freedom. Okay, okay. Okay.
And
It has its
that's why
own
it's
craving.
not, it has its own desire. And that's why it's not about like only rationalizing this is good, this is right, this is how it's supposed to be, we are not meant to eat this and this and this and this. And then they are with their mind into what is into a certain, they have a direction with their mind, and they maybe understood something with the mind, but they do not embrace the astral body's desire, and therefore they are absent of the joy, because ultimately the astral entity, or like the astral being inside of you, that layer, wants to be nourished by you, wants to be seen and recognized by you.
Okay.
And that's why we have to see all this entire process on so many levels and layers.
Okay.
I
So
told
if
yesterday to
somebody
someone.
just, yeah, this is great.
So
Like this poses so many questions. This is on so many levels and so many, fields of the spectrum. So, when you're thinking about someone who is saying to themselves, okay, I don't want to eat animals. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm contributing to suffering when I'm eating animals, or I'm ingesting suffering when I'm eating animals. Do you feel like this certain individual, this person that doesn't want to eat flesh, do you feel like they're denying their astral body of a craving, of a sensation of joy for their astral body? Are they denying themselves that?
Not necessarily, because if it comes from the heart desire, they maybe already had enough. Then the heart desire wants to go further. They had that experience already and they maybe don't even want it. So if you truly listen to your heart, it's totally fine. But there are also people who go only from dogmas and boxes and listen to other people and how it should be. And then they say, no, this is bad, but they never listen to themselves. But if it comes from your heart, for example, I remember when I was 11, I saw this truck of pigs having an accident, and I saw all these pigs rolling over. And with 11, I directly knew I fucking don't eat meat. Like I'm done with it. Like I don't want it.
Wait, wait,
So
wait, wait. How did you put those two together? Like how did you see the pigs and then think I shouldn't eat this?
my my emotional connection to the animals. I was in the bus as a child, looking at the animals and the pigs, how they suffered, and that instantly transmitted to me what's happening there is so wrong.
Mhm.
Um, yes, man.
You said
And
they were
then started.
rolling?
Yeah, because they were braking too quick, and then the animals rolled over each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got
So I had a long period of, let's say, not eating meat and not eating fish and all these phases. But then recently, when I was in Africa, I also just tried chicken and fish just to see what it does to me.
mm,
I wanted to see, hey, do I have the conditioning in my mind? Am I actually so free? What does it do to my body? So I wanted to revisit some things to see. It's not that I'm eating it now like every day or anything, not at all. I just completely always listening to my intuition, what I am choosing for.
mhm.
But for me it was an important alchemization and revisiting process to see, hey, is there any resistance to that? Is there a conditioning on top of it? Or
Mm.
am I actually very free when I would do it?
Interesting. Interesting. Like what you were talking about, Tim, about, the dynamic, the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine, these divine counterparts that are within us as well. You were talking about, Bali and Indonesia is more like that masculine energy, that, go energy and that manifestation of the masculine, while in Ko Pha Ngan, you're saying you feel more of that feminine resonance with the allowing, with the receptivity, with the letting go, with, just to be able to receive, to be that container, to be that divine feminine. So it sounds like you're balancing all of these qualities within you in the different places that you go, that you travel. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I started 7 months ago, I started in Cannes, in France. And there I was upgrading and activating and remembering to let go of all limitations in the financial mindset.
Mm,
And Cannes is a special place for luxury, for
mm,
richness, for
okay.
complete, yeah, for complete financial wealth.
Mhm.
And uh, there, like a millionaire was inviting me to that place and mentoring and remembering me with all these codes.
Wow.
And yeah, that's how the journey started. And that was so profound. And I really like it was so amazing. Like she had, for example, like $50 bills and just
Mm,
just rip it apart and said, get it out of your mind. It's like don't be a slave to any of it.
Okay.
You already have it. You already have it. Why are you chasing it? Or something
Wow.
like she had, yeah, it was really interesting, and she helped me to transition into a further unlimited abundance also on that level.
Okay.
And then I was going to how do you say, Estepona is in Costa del Sol, and
Hmm.
there's also a very specific region as well for a luxurious lifestyle. So there were still codes coming in and nourishing me, like activating these codes. And then I had to revisit from 4 years ago. I had a lot of patterns of my life coming back to me,
Hmm.
and then I needed to break them. So I
Hmm.
revisited the place where I was 4 years ago, and then I needed to break the pattern. I saw all the déjà vus, I saw all
Hmm.
these invitations, and said, Tim, you want to live that old lifestyle, or you are ready to go even further into your sovereignty and break all these patterns. And
Yeah.
then I booked a flight to Zanzibar,
Hmm.
and then I had in between station in Istanbul,
Hmm.
where I got a hammam massage, which was so interesting. It was like these like three men were taking care of me. One gave me an oil massage, one gave me a body scrub, like, and the one was like giving me grapefruit 100% juices pressed, and he put a towel around me like a father figure, like three people, like three men were symbolizing like a trinity father, whatever that was, but they were helping me to transition from the old into the new. They were
Wow.
shedding me all of it, everything.
Wow.
It was like a rebirthing process. And then I came to Zanzibar, and Zanzibar, they call it the spiritual gift of happiness. And
Mm.
there I could stabilize that these new learned activated codes.
Yeah.
Then I could stabilize them. And in Zanzibar is also a very interesting mineral composition. Um, it's very powerful, this island as well.
Mm.
And I learned a lot from the qualities of the Zanzibarian people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the call to go to Asia, because I saw Asia will help me with its deep, profound spirituality to align all my entire body, which is a deep wish and a yearning for a long, long time of myself, to completely align my whole being on emotional, mental,
Yes.
physical, energetic level. And it's happening here. Like I can already see that it's changing and shifting, and uh, yeah, everything is happening, man.
It
It's
is.
wonderful.
It is. I'm excited, you know. I get excited for you just hearing about your story, Tim, hearing about your journey, hearing about your travels, and hearing about your learnings, and that you have this burning and this yearning within you to continue this process of alignment, you know, with all of your bodies, just all of your bodies, you know, just bringing them all into oneness. And, you know, feeling when it comes to abundance and that type of oneness, when it comes to abundance, when you were talking about stabilizing the different codes that you receive from other people, I think that certain people definitely have to stabilize themselves when they receive codes from you, because you're also a transceiver. You receive and transmit, you know, so you're receiving information, then you're transmitting information, and then people are perceiving the information they're receiving from you. So I'm sure that other people have to stabilize as well. When you were with it, when that with the multi-millionaire lady, with the millionaire, and she was tearing the $50 bill and giving you different codes of, you know, the vibration of what is true wealth, or what is true abundance, or what is true prosperity. How did you feel in your body when she was tearing the $50 bill? Like, how did you feel inside of yourself?
Dude, was not easy. I was like, first like, fuck, I want to glue it together again. So I took the fucking things and tried to glue it together. Like, this is how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I said like, where you have a teaser film? I was searching like, please give me something. Like I was like, fuck, is this still possible? Can I still pay with it? And then I was like trying to fix it and stuff. Like that's how it went.
Mhm. Yeah.
First,
So what
it's
was it like stirring up within you to see her do that? So, you know, she was able to do that so confidently, just tearing up something that people fight for. I mean, certain people have lost their lives over that little piece of paper, right? I mean, people have died over that little piece of paper. So, what did it do inside for you? Like, what did it stir up within you?
someone like I was very open to receive and to learn, and I found her perspectives very interesting. So I was observing, and yet it was, I think I was ready also.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would not have met her at the time. I was ready to let it all go. And for example, whenever we went out, like to any place, and she said, "Don't look at the prices. You do what the fuck you want. You choose what you want. You don't look for the prices." And then every time I asked her, "Oh wow, this is a lot. This is this," she said, "This is not how we choose. You choose what is most exciting to you, and it will
Mm,
be there." And then it was slowly and slowly, really like, and then I understood her more and more, and now I understand her even more
okay.
than a few months before. And now it was really, she said something powerful. She said, "You're like a king, and you need a throne, and you deserve to sit on your throne."
Mm.
And that is for all of us, ultimately. That is for all of us.
So
You are a king, you are a queen, and you deserve your throne.
where is the throne? Like if somebody is looking for the throne, where would you say where is the throne?
My throne is my inner temple, for sure, man. But it is how, like, that would be definitely the primary throne.
Okay.
That is the inside our temple, our vessel.
Yes.
But at the same time, how you walk in grace, how you walk in elegance in your life, how do you allow your temple to walk through earth, through
Mm-hmm.
your experience? Or do you limit yourself with anything? You
Mm.
know, if the inside temple is so magnificent, do you allow yourself that magnificence to also be reflected from the outside resources?
Okay. Okay.
So, for example, I was taking a bath, and she had like jacuzzis all over the place. Like she had like the most luxurious villa like there in Cannes, and I was like, wow, man! Like, and then I was checking my bathroom, and there were like these lions heads. They were like lion heads,
Mm-hmm.
spewing out water. You know, because my astrological sign, a lion and everything, and it's like, this is your place.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can sit and bath and heal and regenerate and
Mm.
be nourished by that realization that you deserve all of us.
Yes.
That was so powerful, man,
Absolutely.
and it truly, definitely changed my life.
Yeah. It sounds like I mean it is life changing, you know, even when you're just coming into the frequency and vibration of someone who realizes the I am, right? Who realizes they're already there, who realizes there's nowhere to go. You know, it's just the
Yes.
energy that flows. So, what do you feel like are certain things that she just intuitively understood that so many people in society have such trouble understanding? Like, what is so challenging for people? For instance, I mean, it sounds like she was making it appear that working for this paper was useless, was pointless. It's pointless to work for something that you already are. Is that what I'm understanding?
I think she had her own extremity as well, uh, and somehow our both worldwoods were balancing each other out.
Okay.
Because I see money also as a divine tool for expansion and just expressing who you are even in a more accelerated way, or in a, you know, like in a creative, playful way. Like there's nothing bad about money.
Mm.
She saw it already more that it's bad because she had it all.
Mm.
But for me, she was not living that life how for like where she would put her heart with the money into let's say into the
Mm.
creation. She was
Mm.
still surrounded by the shark economy. She was playing herself. That's why money itself is amazing tool, but we need to realize that we are abundant
Mm.
all the fucking time. You can be abundantly poor, you can be abundantly sick, you can be abundantly stressed out, you can be abundantly uncomfortable, you can be abundantly joyful. You can have abundance in all kinds of ways. Someone can let's say give you a free toothbrush. It's fucking abundance, man. Like we are also like when you don't have money, you are giving in so much abundance. When you're talking, when you're only sharing a video over Instagram, you are giving with so much abundance via communication. Your heart is the whole time generating, right? And so, like I think society is just very like narrowing the abundance down to material wealth and to
Right.
financial wealth, and
Right.
that is a very limited and poor view of abundance. We have to
Yeah.
realize money is just one tiny little tool of
Mm.
abundance, but
Mm.
a very powerful one.
Okay, very, so I see what you're saying. It's very myopic, like a very myopic view of this thing that we all seem to be under the spell and hypnosis of, and the programming of, because when you're saying that, when you're giving that is abundant and receiving, that's also confirmation of that abundance. Do you feel like if people were to give more, do you feel like they would need less?
You can't give more. You already giving everything you have because you are already existing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So there's nothing
You
more to
don't,
give.
there's nothing more to give. You only give, actually, you only express what you already are, your pure abundance, into the ways which feels good for you.
Wow. Wow.
You don't need to do anything. You don't even need to give. You don't need to receive. You are giving only by your playfulness, by
Mm.
being in your divine birthright to create, to play, and to experience yourself as a soul.
Yeah.
And you can just choose
Yeah.
to share or to be silent and to bathe in your own being. That's what's up.
It's a choice.
We don't need to achieve anything. We don't need to achieve anything.
It's a choice. I love this, man. I love this, Tim, because what you're saying is so powerful when you're talking about you're already giving all that you have. It lends so much credence to the person who might be downtrodden or who might feel despondent or who might be depressed, and they're thinking for themselves, what can I give? Like, I remember hearing a quote, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently while Mother Teresa was doing missionary work, Mother Teresa was going around, and somebody was asking her, Mother Teresa, I have nothing. What can I give? I want to give. Me and my family, we want to give something, but we don't have anything. Like, tell me, what can I give? I want to give. My heart is open. What can I give? And apparently she just looked at them and she said, smile. You know, she told him to smile. And like, just saying that, just that, something that sounded so small, like just turn that frown upside down, just smile. You're already giving all that you have. Even when I'm thinking to myself, like, should I trade my life for this job, or should I trade my life for this business, or should I trade my life for this dream or this vision or this opportunity or this? You're already trading your life. You're already trading it. You're already giving all that you have. You're already existing, right? There's no resisting. You already exist. You exist. You're alive. Like that circles back to what you said in the very beginning when I asked you, hey, how are you feeling, brother? How are you? You said, I'm alive. I'm already giving all that I am. I am all that I am. I am. Right?
Full circle, right?
Well, I love this, man. Thank you for this
Full.
because these are some serious codes. Yeah.
And you know, I want to share some, like, I want to share actually something that happened to me 2 days ago, which is a little bit expanding what you just said, like with a different angle, because I was sitting on the beach, I was looking at the sun, it was the sunset, and I was just looking like completely like this. And I just look at the sun, and then there was a guy who experienced, I knew, I connected here shortly to his story, and he experienced a lot of sadness. When he saw me, he projected his own sadness onto me and thought I am sad, but I was just completely neutral and was just completely content with the sun, and I don't need to smile. But then he looked at me and like, he made like this, smile,
Right.
because he needed the counterbalance of his sadness and to experience excessive joy. But I have that balance and I can be in the neutral zone. And then I told him, no, brother, I don't have to smile at all. And then he was very confused by it and he just walked by.
Wow.
So we don't even have to do this, Jerome. We don't even have to do this. We can completely looking fucking straight wherever we are. Like, it's really funny, but I understand the wisdom of the story you taught, and it's also true.
Yeah.
It's also true.
And you remind me, what you said, it reminds me of Diogenes. You ever heard of Diogenes the Cynic? The Cynic? Like cynicism.
Maybe.
So you know those Greek philosophers like Plato and
Yes.
Socrates and Aristotle. So one of them was Diogenes. He's not well known. He's not too well known, I guess. But he was very unconventional. You know, they called him Diogenes, like a dog. Like he would be out there with the dogs. He could urinate on the street. He wasn't really, he wasn't really too concerned with decency or what other people thought was polite or what other people thought was your etiquette or the proper mannerisms for a proper human being and a proper individual in a proper society. He wasn't concerned with all that, and his name is Diogenes. And he was sitting in front of the sun. He was sitting, gazing at the sun, and Alexander the Great came by, right? Now, Alexander the Great, conqueror, right? Conqueror of all these different continents and different places and different spaces, and amassed all these huge armies, and he has a legion of forces, and he brings all of his people, and then they tell him about Diogenes, and he's like, I want to find this man Diogenes. Point me to where is this man Diogenes? And they say, oh, he's over there, he's out in the pasture, just gazing at the sun. He's in his usual spot, with the dogs. And he goes and he finds Diogenes sitting there, sure enough, in the grass, like gazing up at the sun. And he stands in front of Diogenes. This is Alexander the Great, right? People know him from far and wide. And he's like, what can I offer you? What can I give you? What is one thing that you would ask from me? Your king, And Diogenes told him, like, could you move a little bit to the left? Like you're standing in my sunlight. Like could you just move just a little bit, like just move a little bit over here, because I'm gazing at the sun right now. You're standing in my sun right now. And Alexander said, if I was not born Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes.
Wow.
He said, if I was not who I am, I would want to be him. He has something I don't have. It's like you say, the wealthiest people, there's something that, and some of them, they feel like they don't have that something that someone who is completely free, they seem like they have something that they're missing. And it was like Alexander saw it within this man that was totally in the neutral, like you said, the neutral space. He didn't have to smile. He had something
Perfect.
Alexander did not have. And he said, wow, I envy this man. I envy him. You know, all my
Perfect.
kingdoms, all the places I've conquered, it's nothing. You know?
It's like into dust. He put one statement and just into dust.
Yeah,
Crushed it.
yeah, yeah. So
Powerful.
you you do this, you know, the way that you operate, the way that you maneuver through the matrix is marvelous. You know, it's marvelous. It's a mindful way, but it's also breaking people free of their paradigms, breaking people free of their programming. And I just want to commend you and thank you for the work that you're doing, not only on yourself, but what you're sharing and choosing to share for everyone else. Like, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jerome. That means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, like I see you, like I feel like when I connect with you or I see you, you know, like I feel that we are like two, you could say like brothers side to side
Hmm.
and opening the gates of a different embodiment of mankind.
Wow.
And um, I don't want to pat on our shoulders here, but I see that we both doing this together and with many other people, and it's wonderful. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It brings me astral joy as well, you know?
Yeah, so much. It's so
Yeah.
nourishing. You know, I wanted to say another thing here, Jerome. Like with my friend from my hometown.
Hmm.
You know what he has? He is so amazingly radical. Radical means to the roots. He doesn't even have a passport anymore. He put all his bank cards all gone. He has nothing. He has nothing. He only, you know, when the police anything like tries to grab him or whatever, then they say, "Where's your identity?" And then he puts out a wooden plate from our German forest, and he carved in the wooden plate, "I am," and he shows it to the police officers and doesn't say anything. He's such a fucking badass, man.
So that's sovereign, right? That's what it means to be sovereign.
Fucking sovereign.
Okay.
He's so truthful that he doesn't give a fuck about traveling.
Wow.
He is denying himself all these pleasures and fucking getting rid of all these papers. He said he doesn't want to travel when they fucking stamp it in his passport that he doesn't agree with.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
very embodied, man. Like that is such an integrity.
Hmm.
And he has a very powerful beauty and stare and a gaze and a silence in his being. When I met him, like that's how I met him. How are you?
Hmm.
I am.
Yeah.
And then he looks me straight into the eyes with these Viking eyes, whoosh. And yeah, he was also is a great friend that helped me to realize a lot of other things as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, when you say that he's denying himself, you know, of all of these pleasures, like, you know, he doesn't have these credit cards, these debit cards, these passports, these IDs, and he's not traveling, and you say that he's denying himself of all of these pleasures, would you feel like he feels like he's denying himself? Like, do you feel,
Hmm.
you do you get a sense of restriction within him, like he's restricting himself, he's denying himself of all of this, or does it feel like he has something else, you know?
I feel it's a mixture. It's a mixture of not allowing himself to make playing a little bit more with the game until it dissolves, and being like nearly dogmatic in Tiga so much to such an extent that there is no room for that anymore. It's a mixture. But at the same time, he would love to travel.
Okay. Okay. So he would love to do something that he's not doing.
Yeah,
Mm. That
it's a
is a
mixture.
mixed bag.
It
Yeah, that is
is.
a mixed bag for sure.
But it's
For
still
sure.
it's still very inspiring. It's still very inspiring. And but yeah, like people choose their ways in many different from many different points, right? For me,
Hmm.
I have a passport and the identity card, but it's I mean it's running till 2029. And I told today to a friend, I said, I don't even know if I actually need another one afterwards. Because in these 5 years, so many things will happen, Jerome, for us, for our bodies,
Hmm.
that I don't even know if this is actually needed anymore. And you know, today what I said about the passport was, it was really like, what the fuck? Imagine, like for example, you know Anastasia, right? When Anastasia, she lives also without the money, she lives different, right? If she has a passport, I think, but I'm not completely sure about it, but I think she has because she's traveling as well and stuff. But she goes in a taxi without money, and the taxi driver turns back to her and says the taxi is for free. They feel the energy of her, you know, like, and that's, and now apply this to a passport. Imagine you would burn it all.
Hmm.
You would even let that go. How much space of infinite expansion would you actually nourish by that?
Hmm.
Because the same with the food, you had a great reel with someone that said when you give space and allowance to your organs to activate the higher functions,
Hmm.
because not consuming, not digesting, not filtering and everything out, then your body has space to pay attention to organs unfolding and activating. The same
Hmm.
way where you pay attention to it. If you own a house, you pay attention to that. If you don't own a passport, you pay attention to something new. And what is that
Yes.
new giving to you?
Right.
And I think everybody is afraid to let that go because
Mm.
I don't know what would happen on the borders. I only know Marcus Witt is an amazing inspiration. He goes over the borders and has this little name. He just has a name and says like free walker and just goes over the border and they say, who are you? He says, free walker, I'm walking the earth. And then they said, go back to your home. He said, I already am. Where shall I return? I already am here. And then they can't send him anywhere. And it's like, it's a very, like, I find him very inspiring as well, what he's doing, you know? So imagine we would do that right now, Jerome. Like, imagine you would put your passport away and then you go over the border and then you get stopped. And it's powerful, man. It's powerful
Yeah.
because you can't get fucked anymore. If you
Yeah.
don't mention your name, then they say, what is your name? You don't mention any name. Do you understand? Understand. No, I don't understand anybody. I understand myself, understand only myself. And and then imagine they can only put you in prison for one day, they have to let you go. They have no name, they have no category, they can't even send you back home. Because where is home?
What
They
can
don't
they
even know where you're from.
what can they do?
And
What can they do?
and then what can they do? And in this moment, I think you are so divinely guarded because you have chosen to have so much courage to walk that walk. Dude, some things will happen for you that you can't even think about right now. And I just contemplated today about this, and it's fucking like, whoa, it's so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Just when you said you got me, Tim, when you said they asked him, you they said where are you from? Like where are you going? I'm walking the earth. I'm a free walker. And he said, go back to your home. He said, this is my home. Where shall I return?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Where shall I return? What a question. What a question.
Where shall I
Where shall I
return?
return?
And
Yeah.
like I experience the same when I'm traveling because people asking, how are you? Then
Mm.
I say, I am here, or I am alive, or whatever. Then they say, when is your return date? I say, there's nothing to return. I'm already returned. When, don't you want to settle down with a family one day? Don't you want to settle down? I said, I'm already settled in myself. I'm only choosing different scenarios and locations. And then they say, what is your age? Then I say, I have no age. And then they always double check with me. Man, tell me your age now. Like please, like they think I'm a hooky, spooky, new age spiritual motherfucker. And I directly look them straight into the eyes and say, I have no age.
Mm. Mm.
And then they see how fucking serious I am about that. And
Yes.
I absolutely mean it. Because
Yes.
our bodies have to be recognized and honored
Mm.
as timeless intelligence and
Yeah.
organisms.
Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. This is everything that I needed today, bro. This is everything, bro. This is what I needed right now. You giving me such a boost, man. I feel my
Wow.
stomach is, my insides are hurting from laughing so hard, brother. Thank you for this,
Wow.
man. Thank you just for this transmission. Thank you just for doing this,
Mm.
man, and just for being this, for really being this. You're not doing anything, you're being everything. And it penetrates, it really permeates, and it really resonates. So just thank you for these talks, Tim. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
Thank you, thank
ahead,
you, thank you,
brother.
thank you, Jerome. Thank you, Jerome, for my
Oh
heart.
yeah.
And like, it's so wonderful that this time our live stream was stable and
Yeah.
it was like the Wi-Fi and everything. And I'm looking forward for another one. I just
Absolutely.
want to say one more thing. I just want to say
Mhm.
one more thing. I thought today about like there is like this power and energy coming into us that there is truly no return date. There
Mm.
is something in me that says, um, I mean, we all have our little last attachments to
Mhm.
that system we were grown into. But I
Mhm.
feel like when we talked about the passport and stuff, right? It's coming closer and closer. These stages, these
Mm.
this courage to go beyond anything you have dreamed about.
Mm.
And I feel this power is so explosive that it makes people sometimes even afraid of what will happen afterwards. But I see it is coming closer and closer and closer
Mm.
to all of us in our own timing and pace. And
Yeah.
I only know, Jerome, when it will happen, I let the fuck go.
Okay.
Dude,
Yes. Yes. Simply put, simply, I couldn't have said it better. I could have said just let go. Let go when it happens, and it's happening. It's happening. But when
it's
it happens,
happening.
let go. Let
Dude,
go.
while we are talking, I'm getting goosebumps all over my entire body
Yeah,
because it's true.
right.
There is a sovereignty
Mm,
in that jump when you let go of all the old
mm,
clothes, of all
mm,
these old attachments.
mm,
When you are doing that one day when you are ready and you feel now is the time to even remove yourself from this last false security,
mm.
dude, that sovereign power in you
Yes.
is being remembered with an energy that will break all illusions and lies
Yeah.
and attachments to fucking dust.
Wow. Woo! Yes. I felt that.
And your atomic fucking voltage power
Mm,
of your entire Godman and flesh body
mm,
will guard and save you
mm.
when you do it. And it's already happening,
Yeah.
it's already there for you. But when you take the jump, your body will be there for you.
Mm, mm. Yes. Yes. Well, blessings, brother. Blessings. We must do it again. We must do
We
it
must do it
again.
again.
And thank you for this, brother. Until next time, enjoy the rest of
Thank
your
you so
evening.
much, Jerome. Bye.
All right. Take care. Peace.
Take care, brother. Take care. Take good care of yourself.
Will
Much love.
do. Will do.